This production comes to you in association with the Bluebell Warrington. Situated in an 18th century building in the town centre and just a 5-minute walk from the HJ Stadium, the Bluebell is the perfect destination for pre- and post-game food and drink. The 2024 Warrington Pub of the Year is now the official home of Super League Raw on Warrington World match days for both home and away supporters. Super League Raw are delighted to have agreed a members-only area, allowing our community to come together to discuss rugby league pre- and post-match. So set your course to the Bluebell Warrington on match days and beyond. You are sure to be greeted with a warm welcome and a cold beer. Super League Raw and the Bluebell, the perfect partnership in enhancing your match day experience. Well, good evening and welcome to Super League Raw Weekly. That's been a bit of a day, I don't mind telling you, ladies and gentlemen. And as you saw there in the titles, www.superleagueraw.com has been live for a week. Outstanding stuff. Boys, what are you making of the new website, fellas?
Loving it.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree with you more. For the members that are watching, we have got a Zoom call on Thursday in terms of your migration over to Patreon. Don't worry, we will walk you through it. A lot of you have already done it as well. And welcome, of course, to all the new members that have come in. Will we get new members tonight? Do that QR code because we're going to be telling you why you should become members straight away. Forgive me, boys. I'm going to have to go on a little bit of a journey. So let's do it right now to start off this show before we get into the merriment of debate. Last year, we told you 1.8 million people interacted with Super League Raw. The January result is in 349,874 in a single month. Ladies and gentlemen, that is simply incredible, boys, isn't it?
Wow, it is.
Incredible.
And that doesn't include the website. With the website, we're over 350 because it's only been going a week. They managed my expectation. They said, oh, if you get 250 visitors in your first month, you're doing well. It currently stands, ladies and gentlemen, at 3,166 people have gone on our website and 2,777 of them are unique. That basically means that, of course, you know, the gap between those two are people coming back, of course, the members getting on there, doing the logins, etc. But 2,777 brand new, unique people. Absolutely incredible, fellas.
Fantastic work. Fantastic.
Right. Brilliant, Dave. Well done in getting up and running, mate. It's a for a first go. It's an absolutely brilliant website, and it's going to get better as we go along as well.
It is. More is on the way. And welcome to Nick Young in the chat. Stumbled across the show last week. He's loving it. Become a member. Get that QR code done. And why should you become a member? Well, should we carry on the merriment of numbers, gentlemen? Let's do it. Now, if you are a Team Talk or a Six Again member, your season has just got a whole lot better. Oh, yes, of course, 18 man still get exclusive content on YouTube. But look what is coming next week. That's right. We have got 9 sleeps to go. We didn't have a chance to do this before the show, unfortunately, so I do apologise for that. Things got in the way, should we say. But the bottom line is, there you go. 9 sleeps to go till the Captain's Run. A brand new show for 2025, ladies and gentlemen. The best build-up to the weekend's action, guaranteed. That is going to be quite sensational. That is a members-only show. Of course, then back. Going to have to keep doing this all night because we didn't have a chance to do it before we came on.
Travel sick, Dave.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. What can I do? Right, there you go. 11 sleeps to go until the return of the icon in the sheds back Saturday, the 15th of February. Set it in your diaries. The Battle of the Borough. That's right, in the sheds is back on the 15th. Boys, not to be missed in the sheds, is it?
Oh, it's brilliant. It's brilliant, Dave.
It's a fan favourite. Definitely a fan favourite, that one.
It is definitely a fan's favourite. Right, we then move on. Guess what? They're back. That's right. They are definitely back. The Fans Forum, the members here at Super League Raw are back. The Final Whistle podcast. 12 sleeps to go until our members get together on a Sunday night to discuss all of the action from the weekend. And that will be going out as a podcast on Monday morning. Just 12 sleeps to go for that. Then it's 13 sleeps to go until this little baby arrives. Another brand new show for 2025. Round Unpacked. That's right, me and the team on a Monday evening for your entertainment, going through all the action, all the stats, everything from the game to bring the curtain down on the weekend prior to weekly, because, of course, weekly we talk about news and we start to preview the week ahead. Absolutely wonderful. Boys, it's got to be said, that is a pretty stacked lineup for this year. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah. Absolutely, and I think a couple of those are member exclusives as well, aren't they, Dave? So you have to be a member to see some of those shows.
You're right. So Captain's Run, the Unpacked show, they are exclusive for members. They are exclusive for members, ladies and gentlemen. So you have to be a 6 Again or Team Talk member to get those shows, okay? I make no apologies for that. At the end of the day, as you can imagine, this takes a lot of production, a lot of time. Where else are you going to go? For the price of a latte, ladies and gentlemen, there you go, Miss Kirby. For the price of a latte, you can get 7 days a week of Super League Raw. Right. Whoa, what a start to the show. Right, let's keep it going. It's back. It is definitely back. The Super League Raw mini league in the Fantasy League is back. Here's all the details that you need for this little baby, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see, there's the pin, 9675. 9675 is your pin number. The password RAW at 2025. Look at the prizes at the bottom of the screen by joining the membership. These are member-only prizes. You can play for fun. If you're not a member, that's fine. Get involved in it. But if you want to win the prizes, you have to be a member. 18-man members can put 1 team in. Team Talk, 6 Again members can put 2 teams in, and Team Talk members get 3 chances. First prize, season ticket 2026 on the line, up to the value of £300. Second prize, your replica shirt for 2026. We'll take care of that at Super League Raw. Congratulations, you're getting that one. And then third prize, the all-new Super League Raw hoodie for 2026. Not this one, the one that we'll be designing for next year. You will be probably the first person to be wearing a 2026 hoodie if you come third. Boys, the prizes just keep getting better in the Fantasy League.
Yeah, hopefully someone will beat Ryan Birch this year. That'll be
yeah.
So,
Ryan's already sharpening his pencil as we speak. He's getting into the form. He's doing what Ryan Birch does. You know what I mean? But yeah, happy days. Absolutely wonderful stuff.
I've got a team to beat this year.
Until you stop remembering to actually update it every week. Yeah, all right. Like it did last year. Unbelievable stuff. Look, we're a community. Nobody's bringing the rugby league community together like we are. Look at all that wonderful stuff behind the paywall this year, of course. Loads of great stuff for the members. Great sport, great fun. There's more giveaways and competitions to be announced tonight. Don't go anywhere. Something very special is ending tonight's show. Ooh. Anyway, there you jolly well go.
Weekly will always be free.
Weekly will always be free. It will indeed. Weekly is always here, but you don't want to miss out on the rest. You don't want to miss out on the opportunity of being involved in this community. The WhatsApp's moving on to the new website. It's just going to be absolutely fantastic. You want to be a part of it. It really is a tightened community. We're going to be going everywhere together this year. Sales pitch over. You know what to do. www.superleagueraw.com on the membership. Everything you need is on there. Scan the QR code if you want. If you're listening to the podcast, superleagueraw.com's the only place that you need to go. Right.
Let's just scan the QR code, Dave, as well.
Yeah, we've got two, mate. We've got two. Right. Okay. Good evening to. I've already said hello to Nick. He can't wait to welcome us to the DIY kitchens, and we can't wait to get to Wakey. I hope you enjoyed the article on our website where we previewed Wakey's chances this season. Nobody does blogs like Super League Raw. Carl Shaw is with us. Aidan Simpson is with us. Dawn Kirkby is with us. We've got Rebecca Frey, Matty Timms, Nicola Burtonwood with the 4 kisses as always. Tony Pennington, good to meet him at the weekend. And actually, on that note, sorry about this, John. Of course, you weren't there. But how good was the Bluebell? Our first welcome meet and greet at the Bluebell before the Toby King testimonial. And gentlemen, it was packed. Loads of familiar faces, loads of new ones. It was wonderful, wasn't it?
Yeah, great.
It was really good.
Yeah, great to see so many Leigh fans in there as well who were obviously listening to Super League Raw. I encourage all away fans this season going to Warrington, get in there before the game. The drinks are brilliant, great food, and even better, you get to meet Reggie and Dave and maybe myself on some occasions.
Absolutely right. And Paul,
can I just say, Dave, to Nick, hopefully these big changes at Wakefield. I hope you haven't changed your beer, because the beer was magnificent at Wakefield last time I went.
The Greg Nixon refreshment report for tonight is there for you, ladies and gentlemen. Right, Paul is with us. Paul Fail from Canada. Paul, here we go. Newsflash, gentlemen. Newsflash. Paul, you're not alone. You're not alone. Guess what? We have got a second subscriber, a new member, all the way from Canada. The name is, I'm just going to find it, Jill Savore, I think is how it's pronounced. Jill Savore from Canada is a brand new member here at Super League Raw. We have 2 Canadian members. How good's that?
Fantastic.
Yeah,
you won't get any tariffs from us.
Right, okay, guys, loads in the chat. We are going to be going at a pace today. Keep them coming. I've scrolled it all the way down to the bottom because we're going to have to keep going. Good to see Bazza. Andrew Robertson's there. John Beasley, good evening to you. That's a new name on me. Carla Collier, always a pleasure to see Carla. And for those people who saw the titles there and didn't get their photos, don't worry, your chance may come next week, but I can only put photos up if you send them in. If you want to be a part of the Super League Raw titles 2025, then when you go to the games at the weekend, take a photo, send them to Super League Raw via email or on our social media channels, and you could be on our titles next year. Right, loads of news to get through. We're going to have to go through at a pace. We're going to be talking Huddersfield, Catalan, Leigh. We've got loads to get through. We're going to be talking giveaways. We're going to be talking a brand new competition. Ladies and gentlemen, the only way that we're going to be able to get through the news story is pretty quick. Banging or hanging? Yes, it's back. The one that we all enjoy, banging or hanging. And of course, as you know, the boys don't know what they're going to be coming up against on this one. They're going to have to be talking about for 1 minute one of the big stories that have happened in the last 7 days. And first up is going to be Reggie. So we'll get rid of the other 2 lads. Reggie is first up. And Reggie, you are going to be talking about this. Announced today, the Luke Little Stadium. What's your take on this one, mate?
At first, I didn't know what to take on this. I thought, oh, here we go again. And then I saw it was on the BBC News landing page, and I thought, there we go. Great marketing. It's caught the BBC's attention. It's catching other news websites' attention as well. Great piece of marketing. Absolutely fantastic piece of marketing. Luke Littler, the man of the moment, and a Warrington lad, a Warrington fan. So I think after having a think about this one, I think this is a banging idea.
It's a banging idea, Greg. Greg Roach in the chat trying to get political. Not on a Tuesday night when Raw's on, Greg. Sort yourself out, look in the mirror. Not good enough. I'll be sending Mr. Burgess round, and this time he won't be giving you a cuddle. Right, we're going to move on at a pace. It's now time to bring in the man, the legend that is Mr. Seth Stale. Seth, we're going to stay with Warrington for a while. It's been announced that George Williams is the captain at Warrington for 2025. Hanging a banging, sir.
I think this is a great appointment. George, one of the best players in the country, England player, leader on the pitch, and with Captain Call coming in, George is a very knowledgeable rugby league player. He's the talisman for Warrington in terms of guiding him around the pitch. He's a leader. It's absolutely banging for me.
It's a banger as far as Steph is concerned. Goodbye, Steph. Hello to Joel, because Joel is now going to get involved in his first ever hanging or banging. And for you, Joel, it's this one. Derek Beaumont coming out, speaking out about IMG and Sky. Are they holding us back, Joel?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah. I think there's other opportunities out there that we could go for, and it seems like Derek's the man that knows. He seems to.
The Wi-Fi's back, but the coffee's now the biggest
exactly
problem in the Joel.
Yeah. The Wi-Fi is good. The Wi-Fi's back. Yeah, it's great. They've been holding us back for many years. I think it's been a good platform for us for the early 90s and 2000s, but now it's time for a change, and I think Derek's the man that obviously knows what he's doing when it comes to marketing.
You're banging it.
Yeah.
Right, ladies and gentlemen,
Absolutely.
if you've not seen this,
Absolutely.
at last, Sky appears to be
Concerned about the
marketing
NFL
our
season
game.
coming to an end? Well, don't worry. Rugby League has got you covered. 4 downs? How about a set of 6? Touchdowns? We call that a try.
Oh my goodness! An outstanding try! Wow! What a finish!
Rushes? Try line break.
They're racing away now! He is unbelievable! How did he do that?
Overtime drama?
Mahomes flings it. It's there!
Golden point magic.
Williams sends the kick up! Warrington wins!
Vikings? Come watch the Warriors. Rams? How about the Rhinos? Jaguars? We've got the Leopards. Saints? We've got them too. Friday Night Lights? Check. And plenty of big hits. But we're not wearing any pads. For the next 8 months, we have got everything you need because every game is live on Sky Sports. And this year, we are hitting Vegas. Much better.
Rugby League, let's go.
So Reggie back in. Sky promo, new audience opportunity, hanging a banging, sir.
Absolutely banging. I think that's the best promo they've done for Rugby League in a long time. Probably since Johnny Vegas got involved as a Saints. I don't know. I know some people have said they've never seen me and Johnny Vegas in the same room together. But I think it's a banging idea. I must admit, I got a little bit goose pimply when I saw that this afternoon. It's a brilliant idea to link it in with the NFL, with Vegas coming up. And yeah, as we say, we don't wear pads in our sport. I think the Americans, if it's sold well to the Americans, I think big things could be on the horizon. So a banging idea for me.
A banging idea from Reggie. I think
Absolutely.
all the boys would agree with that. So we now move back to Mr. Sale. And for Mr. Sale, we've got this little beauty, Morgan Knowles. Who knows? Who knows? See what I did there? Who knows? Will Morgan go to the NRL in 2026? Yes or no? Hanging, banging.
I think for him, this is banging. I think he deserves his shot in the NRL. I think players like Morgan tend to go really well in the NRL. Look at like Smithies and players like that who've gone over there, done really, really well. So in the loose forward position, back row, we tend to produce some talent that can actually make an impact on the NRL. So I mean, it'd be bad for Saints because he's one of their key players, but if he's going to test himself against the best in the world, I think this could be a banging one for Morgan.
Fair enough. Thank you, Mr. Sale. And back in, finally, will come Mr. Scholes. Mate, you might have sort of seen this, so I'll tee you up for it in case you haven't. The new cover of Rugby League World, unbelievable. Wigan in the front car. In the second car windscreen, Warrington and Saints. KR in the third car. Is that disrespect or is it marketing genius to get people to buy the magazine? What's your thoughts, Joel?
I think it's a bit of both. It's genius in the sense of it causes a bit of a division and competition, but also it's that thing of how come KR's behind Saints when arguably they had a far better season last season than Saints have had for quite a while. So yeah, I think it's a great idea.
Banging
for
for you. Outstanding stuff, ladies and gentlemen. A massive round of applause for the guys. It will come back very, very soon. Banging or hanging. Brilliant new feature for 2025. A bit of hanging and banging. Boys, we raced through some major stories there.
Well, you know what? Today has been a real good day for Rugby League as far as PR and marketing has been concerned. It's been a fantastic day. The Luke Littler thing, the Sky ad, fantastic. Let's hope for more this season.
Let's hope for more. And ladies and gentlemen, it's happened. Here he comes. Mark Arnold is a new team. He's a 6 again member here at Super League Raw, the first of the evening. Ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't catch the start of the show, go and check out all of the member exclusive shows that are coming this year. 7 days a week Rugby League here on Super League Raw. You can't get any better than that. Brilliant new shows, iconic existing shows back as well. A community behind a pay choice. Well, anyway, unbelievable season, just a couple of weeks away. And I have to say, big announcements on the way later. Big announcement on the way later. Oh, it's a beauty. Anyway, right, we've got loads to get through. So now we're going to move to this one that's going to be very close to Joel's heart. The Huddersfield Giants, let's take a review of their squad. I know Joel's going to have a lot to say about this team. I'm going to start with, I'll come to you last, Joel, if that's okay, as it's your side. Greg, I'll kick off with you. I mean, if you look at the departures, Connor, Masters, Nagama, Hill, Milner, Ikehefo, Ali Russell, of course, and Andre Savelio, only 5 new signings brought in. We'll get the injury update from Joel in a minute, but they're having an absolute shocker when it comes to injuries before ball is even kicked.
Yeah.
I asked you this last week. I'll ask you it again this week. Have they strengthened or weakened?
Well, probably Joel will be able to answer this one. It depends on the strength of the players coming through. On the face of it, I would say, and no disrespect, I think they're a bit weaker than they were last year. They've lost some real good players. I mean, we all have our opinions about Jake Connor, but on his day, he's a very, very good player. Masters is a good player. Chris Hill led the pack well. Probably age isn't on his side now, but I would say slightly, and again, no offense to Joel, so don't be waiting for me at the door of the Bluebell this Saturday, but I would say slightly weaker than last season.
Yeah, fair enough. I can't really argue. I looked at it and I thought something similar, if I'm being perfectly honest. I don't think they've signed enough. And of course, with their injury concerns as well. Wow. Steph, your take on it?
I think it's pretty like for like. Obviously, losing Connor, he wasn't going well for them anyway, so it is a loss, but I don't see it as a massive loss for them because he wasn't really playing that well for them. I think losing Masters and Niguama are 2 big ones in the centre, and obviously Oliver Russell is a young up-and-coming player. But they've signed well in Gagai and Wolford, and obviously Tom Burgess, we all know if he stays fit, what a destructive player he can be. So I do also like George King as well. I think he's going to be a good workhorse for them in the middle. So I think jury's out on this one, and it's up to Huddersfield as a club and the players to prove some people wrong this season.
Yeah, okay. Well, we'll get into the new signings in a minute. But Joel, over to you. Your thoughts on your side going into the brand new season. Do you think it's strengthened or weakened?
I don't think it's neither. Because what it's done is we've lost a lot of what you would call big name players.
Just for you, I've been busy all day. As Einstein once said, Craig, I can do 99.9% of things right. You concentrated on the 0.1%. But there you go, live on the show, put right for you. Carry on, Joel.
I lost my train of thought.
You were agreeing with me, Joe.
This happens every week, this. I start saying something and then someone says something. Right. We've lost a lot of big name players as you would see in Chris Hill, Jake Connor, Masters, so on and so forth. However, for those that do watch any NRL and some New South Wales stuff, Jake Gagai, I think he's going to be an awesome player. He's a try scoring machine. So I'm hoping from what I've known of him in Australia that he's going to be battling with the Swifty for top try scorer. Now, my only kind of concern is I'm not sure what he's like defensively. As Tom Burgess, not great defensively, cracking attacking. So we've got a few more attacking weapons, but we've lost some defence. And I think the biggest mistakes was letting go of Seb. I think he got another couple of seasons in him for sure. And Ollie Russell for me was a mind blower. I couldn't believe that it would let him go. So we've definitely weakened for losing them two. but we have gained some very good players in Zach Wolford, Jake Gagai, and Tane Milne, which Dave, you'll know of as well.
Squad number. Yes.
Tane Milne, because he got signed officially after the squad numbers were already announced.
When I went and looked online to put this together today, he wasn't there, so I thought there might have been a story.
No, it was because he was signed 2 weeks after the.
Fair enough. Okay, so apologies for that. Of course, Milne's there as well. So that's 6 new signings coming in as well. But like I say, I thought there might have been a bit of story because I found that a little bit odd. So I didn't want to go there because there wasn't a number, but that's fine. Right, okay. Gagai, well, in fact, let's have a look at Gagai. I mean, Gagai, Jacob Gagai comes from the South Sydney Rabbitohs. Played 17 times with the Rabbitohs, 9 tries. Plays centre or wing, obviously fullback. He's got the number 1 jersey. Joel, do you expect him to play at 1?
Yeah, that's his actual preferred position. He's played wing and centre for South Sydney because that's where they were lacking. I'm a Rabbitohs fan myself, so that's why I know that. But yeah, his preferred position is fullback. So that's going to be good to see him there.
Freddie McGilvey saying, good evening, Uncle Freddie. Good to see you, my friend. Don't forget to transfer yourself over to the new website to improve your membership experience, my friend. But gonna struggle this season, says Uncle Freddie. Aidan Simpson saying Gagai won't score as many as Swift. No way. Who does, is what I would say, Aidan, to that.
I'd hold your horses on that one.
Might be surprised.
You might be surprised.
Adam Swift here, that, let's be fair, is a freak in terms of his try-to-game ratio. Absolutely incredible. But like I say, Queensland Cup, 91 appearances, 33 tries. He's represented different teams. Got a bit of pace, the lad. Got something about him. Ladies and gentlemen, I would advise, if you actually go and punch these types, not now, obviously. Don't go anywhere now. We're live. But after the show, these new players that are coming into Super League, if you go onto YouTube, punch the name in. Normally, you'll get about a 5-minute video clip of their best highlights from Australia. Well worth going to have a look at, just so you get a little bit of an inside track on their skill set and what they can do. There is one on there for Gagai. Let's move over now to this lad, Zach Wolford. Comes across from the Canberra Raiders, 39 appearances for them. No tries, though, which I found quite interesting. He has played 106 times in the Queensland Cup with 4 tries. For those who don't know this lad, let me tell you, he's a scurrying hooker. He likes, in the mould of a Matt Parcell, Jez Litton, Danny Walker. He's not really a Sam Powley type, if you get my meaning, or a Brad O'Neill. He likes to be on the front foot. He likes to get out of that, out of a dummy half and straight out at the defensive line, draw defenders and offload. He's got skills, the boy. He has got skills. Greg, have you seen much of Zach?
Well, I've seen he reminds me a little bit of Michael Monaghan, a little bit, in what I've seen of him. Yeah. In the fact that he does run well from dummy half and he does have a good pass on him. So from what I've seen, I think he could be the surprise package, if I'm being honest with you. Comes under the radar. So I'm looking forward to seeing this guy play for Huddersfield.
Yeah. Steph, do you know much about the lad?
Yeah, he's a decent player, and he reminds me a bit of Mickey McLaurin. He's a similar kind of build to Mickey and plays very much like him. His defence is spot on. He's a very good defender. And yeah, you're quite right to point, he's not scored tries, but the hooking position is not always about scoring tries. You have different types of hookers. And I think for me, this guy's more of a bit like Ipape, scoot out quick and get the ruck speed up, but also very, very good.
Are you saying unlike Bradley Dwyer, he knows how to pass a ball, Mr. Sutton? Good evening, Bradley. We hope you're well. Anyway, Joel, I think this, when Levi went, that was a big blow for Huddersfield. It really, really was. I think this lad could plug that gap quite nicely.
Yeah, and he's not a Danny Levi. Let's just get that straight. That is a guy who was pretty electric for a 9. Zach's quick, but he's not Danny Levi quick. He's a much different kind of player, but it's something that we need. He's very defensive minded. He's like you said, he's got a good offload. He'll get to the line and make sure that he gets the ball passed off. Hence why you've probably not seen any tries. He might score 1 or 2 this season, but that's not his forte. His whole game plan is get the ball up to as close to the line as he can and
Yeah,
offload
and
it
of
to your
course
big boys.
that's great stuff. I mean, look, we don't need to talk too much about the supporting pack that they brought in. Liam Sutcliffe, I think, is a good player, but that I have to say, Joel, you know, I'm going to come back to you, mate. That for me is where you have weakened. You know, you've lost Masters, you've lost Nagama. Swift and Sutcliffe don't compare; they just don't. And I think for me, the centre positions. I mean, I like Liam Sutcliffe. I mean, he's a good player. Don't get me wrong. But I think Masters and Nagama had that little bit of quality that perhaps, with the greatest respect to Liam and Jay, they've just not quite got that level of class.
Well, I don't quite agree because Nagama was a bit of a turnstile in defence. Week in, week out, his defence was atrocious. He let far more in than he helped give. Whereas if Tane Milne gets that spot, which I would imagine he would do, for me, Tane would take precedent over Sutcliffe, and he can kick as well. He's a very good defender.
You're saying Bibby over Sutcliffe?
No.
I
said Milne.
So Milne surely would replace Bibby, not Sutcliffe, surely.
I'd have him replace Sutcliffe. I wouldn't have Bibby on the wing or centre. Bibby wouldn't be in my starting lineup.
Right, okay, we got.
Yeah. No. I wouldn't have Sutcliffe. I'd have Halsall.
So you put on the wing instead of Halsall?
You'd put either Wallace or McGowan.
Would you not put Bibby on the wing, Joel? Would you not put Jake Bibby on the wing? Okay.
No. He's a good backup, but no, he's just not. He don't cut it. He's not as good as them other guys.
He's a centre either, is he, Joel?
You're getting a bit of support from Joe Dalgreen. Good evening, Joe. Nagama couldn't tackle a Sunday dinner. That's a bit harsh, Mr. Dalgreen. But good evening to you, sir. We hope you are well. There's a lot of people, Joel, that, myself included, actually. You know, I've got a soft spot for the Cowbell Army, and I have done. I do. But I do worry a little bit. Especially with the injuries. Can you give us an update on that? Because I know that Lollahea and Clune should be back for the Challenge Cup, but like I say, they've not really had much training time together in terms of the spine and the squad. So it could be a really slow start. And if it is a slow start, can Huddersfield afford to have a slow start?
I always believe that. So before all these injuries, if we've got our starting lineup as I knew it would be, with Milne in there. I was quite confident that we'd be able to take on quite a few teams and surprise a few people this year. But with the injuries coming up, it is going to be very difficult. If we run with the squad that we've got right now, we're not going to win any games because we've got lads who are playing that don't have shirt numbers. And even though they try, you've not got that game time experience, and you just can't outbeat the experience from the older boys. The problem is we've got because of our money is being tied up for everything with the stadium. We've had to go with a much smaller squad, but have more experience in the areas that we need it. So, that's where we're at.
Anybody else got much to say about? Like I say, I don't know. I'm just a bit concerned for Huddersfield. I hope I'm wrong because the Cowbell Army deserve a better season than they received last year. What's your take on Huddersfield, Greg?
I do fear for them. I fear for them because of the injuries, and I hope they get that sorted out soon. It could be one of those seasons for Huddersfield. They could either overachieve because they have made some good signings. They could either overachieve or, they could be really struggling. And I think I don't think we'll know that until we're a third of the way through the season. So I'm going to kind of hang fire on that because they have made some good signings. They've got some good players coming in. For me, as I've said, I think they're slightly weaker, probably because they're going to rely, because of the injuries, on more of the kind of reserve players and players that haven't had a lot of first-team experience. But I think, I'm going to hang fire on giving a prediction just yet on Huddersfield.
They'll be coming next week, sir. They'll be coming next week, as we know.
This fence is really hurting that I'm sitting on.
Absolutely.
Because of the injuries, we're going to be absolutely nowhere near playoffs. You know, we're going to be, for us to start winning some games, it's going to be the business end of the season.
You know,
Unfortunately,
Joel,
and that's just how
to say
it's
you
going to
might
be.
not,
Because
you know, that's what a lot of teams kind of do towards the business end of the season. They start winning, and then they're challenging for the playoffs towards the business end. So there's no reason why you couldn't be towards the end of the season.
yeah, it's just by the time the injuries, if the injuries stop and everyone's back, and once they've played enough games together, for me, it's just a bit too far on. But yeah, you're right, Greg.
You obviously
possible,
know
isn't it?
better than I do, Joel. But I'm just, don't let's not write them off just yet.
Yeah. Well, before I come to Steph, let's just get a couple of shout outs so Steph can maybe answer some of these as he gives his take on it. Bazza Kingston saying the injuries Huddersfield have, we're going to see if Robinson's up for the job. We've also got Richard Fewless. He fears for them for this season. Greg Roach, obviously the inside man himself, cluing out till round 4. He's having Leroy, Chewy and Woolford back this weekend by the sounds of it. We could do signing a halfback. Milner or Abdul he's going with there, which is interesting. Of course, we know Jordan Abdul's available. Tough start for Huddersfield, says Craig, 4th as well. What's your take, Steph?
Yeah, I mean, poor Joel's copped a bit of flack for the past few weeks in terms of where Huddersfield are going to end up this season. So I'm going to be a bit more positive, and I'm going to make my mate feel a bit better about it. I would encourage people to look at how good Huddersfield were last season before Swift got injured. I think Swift is a massive, massive player for them, and when he's playing well, that team tends to play well. So having him back's like a bit of a new signing for Huddersfield. So that's point 1. Point 2, in terms of Luke Robinson, there's nothing better as a coach than being written off and telling everyone telling you're not going to do something. And what I would look at there is Leigh as an example. From the Leigh's first season, and even last season when they said they couldn't do it as a, the second dance kind of thing. So that, but also Salford. Everyone last year wrote Salford off. Had them as finishing 11th. I remember Ryan Brierley going on Sky Sports and saying anything above 11th is good for us, and we'll just keep chipping away. So I think Huddersfield will probably buy into that underdog mentality a bit, and Luke will use that as motivation. So I'm not writing Huddersfield off. I still think they've got a good enough side there that could potentially challenge for playoffs. I think it's going to be a tough ask. But the other thing I would say is Leigh had 4 of the 5 Dream Team players out at the start of last season and still made the playoff.
Well, let's all give the Joel a big virtual cuddle. That was lovely. Absolute friendship at its best there. And Joe, nothing to make me happier. And you're right. Because of the injuries at this moment in time, let's just hope we've got them out of the way. Because I take your point, Joel. If you can field, like Salford did last year, Salford got lucky with injuries last year. If Huddersfield can have, a good bath this year where injuries are concerned, then yeah, do you know what? They have got the personnel in that squad to cause many a team an issue. So we're right. Before we move on to the next article, that's Huddersfield done and dusted. We will predict where they'll finish next week live on Weekly. I just wanted to, at the bottom of the screen, you've seen that, we are, for those listening to the podcast, we're currently just showing at the bottom of the screen the challenges of round 3 games from this weekend. Don't forget, York Knights and Hull KR is live on the Sportsman at 8 o'clock on Friday night. There are live games. And of course, Bradford against Castleford is live, I believe, on the BBC iPlayer. That's coming through in a moment. Halifax Panthers, Catalan Dragons, Saturday, 12 o'clock on the Sportsman. It's that one game I just want to quickly talk about. Just that one game. Bradford against Castleford. For me, the title round. If one of the 12 Super League clubs are going to falter, sorry, Tigers fans, that's the one where everybody will have a really keen eye on this weekend. Danny Maguire has pretty much fielded 2 strong Castleford squads now against Wakefield and against Hull FC. Hull FC in the second half in that friendly at the weekend pretty much had a load of kids out. If Maguire was to fall in round 3 before a ball has been kicked in anger in Super League, what would that mean? I'll just throw that out
there. I think it'd be a bit embarrassing, but I don't think it'd be a disaster for Castleford, because I think they've got bigger problems this season to worry about in terms of getting better than what they were last season. It's probably a bit of a distraction. I don't think for 1 minute that Castleford, and that's not being disrespectful, I just don't think that they're a good enough squad to win the Challenge Cup this year. So it may be a bit of a distraction, and not being in it may be a benefit to them. But obviously, nobody wants to lose to a championship side. So, and I think they will have enough to beat Bradford. I think it's going to be
Go
a
on,
really
then.
tough game.
Prediction. As you know, we'll do a prediction on this one. What are you going? You're going Castleford by how many, Steph?
I'm going to go Castleford, but
1-8.
I think it'll be
so for those people who are new to the channel, we do predictions. We'll be starting the predictions for Super League next week. 1-8, 9-17 or 18 plus margin in which team. We do have a predictions league as well. This year we're going up against the members. So if you want to be a part of the prediction league as a member, you need to become a member. There's a lot of people tonight who are signing up, are actually getting themselves a login on the website. I can see that. But in order to unlock the programs, you do need to be a Team Talk or a 6 Again member. Greg, to you on this game, where do you think this one's going to go at the weekend?
I'm with Steph. I don't think it's a major disaster for Castleford if they do lose this. And you know what? I'll get the feeling this could be the shock of the round. I'm going to go, and Bradford fans are going to hate me for this. But I think Bradford will do it because Odsal this weekend, it's going to be like, it's going to be like Armageddon, the weather, apparently. So I'm going to go. Oddsal's not a great place to visit at the best of times. So I'm going to go. I think Bradford might do it,
Well, Bradford's favourite son, Mark Hill, will be delighted about that. He's already in the chat.
He will. But and I think Bradford will win. I don't think Castleford are quite there yet. I think they're still a bit out of sorts. And I agree with Steph. I think they'll probably want to concentrate on Super League and staying in Super League this season.
Fantastic.
So I'm going Bradford 9-17.
Bradford 9-17. Rob Hickson's gone Bradford 1-8. Look at this from Joe Dalgreen. Bit of cast confidence. 18 plus, says Joe. Joel, your take on this? Can Bradford do it?
Yeah, I've seen enough from Bradford already. Even in the pre-season, they're looking good. They're looking really good. I fear for anybody in the Championship who's playing them, let alone Super League. So, yeah, I think it's going to be a really good game. This, if Bradford lose, I'll be very surprised. So I'm going to go to Bradford 1-8.
And Dawn Kirkby and Bazza Kingston, 2 Super League Raw members, both support KR. They'll be at the York game of the weekend. Don't forget to send us your photograph so we can get that on the titles next week, guys. If you go into a game this weekend with members or non-members, it doesn't matter. Get a photo took, get it sent to us, appear on our titles. I think this has got all the makings of a real tight tussle. Look, never say a round 3 classic. It could be. This could be a 1-8 either way. It could be a really, really good game, and it's on the iPlayer. So make sure you tune in, guys. This, if you're not, if your team aren't playing at the same time, what a brilliant bit of fare this will be at the weekend. So make sure you tune in for that one. Castleford Tigers against Bradford at Odsal. It's a thing. It's almost like you've gone to sleep and woke up in a different era. Absolutely wonderful. And if you
do that every morning.
Absolutely. And if you've just joined Super League Raw for the first time, find another podcast that is as passionate about our game as this one. Oh, you're not going to find it. We are, of course, the pinnacle of podcasting. Now then, this has come in this year. It's people have fully enjoyed it. It's time for me to unveil the door. So once again, here we go.
Capture the photo!
Caption the photo. And of course, for those of you on social media, those listening on the podcast, we put out on our X and on our Facebook page a wonderful picture of Mr. Wallace with a headband around. Well, I don't know what it is. Well, actually, it's a neck strengthening device that they use in the gym, but it's an absolute peach of a photo. It really is. And as usual, our members and non-members on Facebook have not let us down. They've all got involved in the caption competition. So let's go through some of our favourites. Start with this one. I'd rather let go than watch Union. That's what we're talking about, Ryan Stephen. What's rugby union when you've got rugby league? Good lad. That's it. Outstanding stuff from you. Right. Carol Sim. She's gone Karate Kid. Wax on, wax off. Love it. Love it. Love that one. Chris Ellis Robinson. This is his effort. Anyone seen the strap off the cowbell is where he's gone. So quite apt for Huddersfield. Right, next one, John Wilkinson. He's gone, I think I need the instructions for the mankini I ordered from Tina. Absolute outstanding effort there from John. Loving that one. Deborah Hassey, another member, Castleford Tigers fan, in fact. Huddersfield's retention policy is just getting ridiculous, Joel. I quite like that. I really do.
I like that one.
That's
brilliant. That's a good one, though. I like that.
I'm loving that. Right. So then we go to, whoopsie daisy, what happened there? Don't know. Craig Forth, missing out just on the top 3, but Craig Forth, good effort from him. On 3, I'm going to let go, get ready to run. Love it. Love that. That's outstanding. Right. Let's get into the top 3. Bazza Kingston at 3. He's already been in the chat tonight. I'm the newest member of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Call me Huddercello. I love it. Love that. It's outstanding. Right now.
That's very clever.
Speaking of clever, Mr. Roach, here he comes at number 2. It's a long shot, but I'm a trebuchet. Good lad. However you pronounce that. Is that how you pronounce it? How do you pronounce that?
For people who might not understand what one of those is.
Yeah, it's
one of those.
It's what they used to use back in the day, innit? That like holstered like boulders and stuff, wasn't it? All right.
A slingshot.
Yeah, like a slingshot. Yeah. So Mr. Roach, as always, he's got etiquette, he's got style, he's a well-read. He's an educated man. He likes the curry. He's a big unit. He supports the show. We love a bit of Greg. Good effort. I do think he's a cunning linguist. He's a gentleman. But the winner. What was that? What's up?
No, you carry on, Dave.
Okay. The winner this week, and I have to say, I had to do it, Joel. I'm so sorry, Joel, but I thought this was comedy gold. So those who watched us last week know what this one's all about. Anthony Cox, not only is it funny, but it's relevant to Super League Raw. And he said, the best broadband in Huddersfield. Oh, go on there. What an absolute beach from Anthony Cox. That's what we're talking about. Absolute gem. There will be more of that next week.
That was clever. Well done, sir.
Outstanding.
Well done.
Loving our caption coach. Keep your eye out on social media. More of them coming this week, and we'll have a bit of fun with that next week. Right, it's now come to that time of the show. Get ready, Reginald Nixon, because we're now going to just take a quick dip of a toe in the water of the Women's Super League. Over to Mr. Nixon.
Well, here we go again. Again, not a lot to talk about this week. You've got to give big raps to the Wigan Warriors, who are really embracing the women's game. Since they came into Super League, they've been really kind of supporting the progress of women in the game. Dennis Betts as head coach has been a genius move. A legend of the game, a legend of Wigan Warriors. Bringing him in as head coach has shone a spotlight on the game. Just been announced that they've gone into partnership with a group called Her Game 2 that raises awareness of and hopes to eradicate sexism in rugby league and is hoping to promote gender equality within the world of sport. So, that's a real good move by the Wigan Warriors to get involved in organisations like that and hopefully will drive the game forward. And again, Leeds Rhinos have always been at the forefront of women's rugby league and always been great supporters of the sport. Axis Group have been named as the main shirt sponsor for the Rhinos for this season for 2025, which is different to the men's. So, that again is a good thing that just gives a different bit of branding to the women's game. And again, going back to Steph and the Leigh Leopards, Irish international Storm Cobain. What a great name. She's been named captain, Leigh Leopards captain for this season ahead of their first season in Super League.
Smells like team spirit, that does, sir. Smells like team spirit.
Yeah, cheers, Dave. Where was I before I was so rudely interrupted? She played the other code in Ireland and down in the south of England before moving north. She signed for Leigh last season, but she signed after the deadline, so she couldn't really play for the first team. But she impressed with her dedication to training, and so she's going to be starting this season. She's going to be the captain. She's taking over from, and hopefully I'll pronounce this right, from Mary Ed Quinn. I hope I've got that right. Please forgive me if I haven't. Who was captain for the last 2 seasons, but is now announced that she's stepping back for a while because she's expecting her first child. So good luck to Storm there. And still with the Leopards, they've announced a squad this week and there's some new faces. Emily Bagley, Abby Latchford and Abby Johnson, who've joined from Warrington Wolves. Abby Latchford, what a great player. Leigh Leopards fans are going to love watching her. Abby Johnson's a great player. Emily Bagley, England Knights a few seasons ago, a great second rower. some really good signings there for Leigh Leopards. Also, Hannah Roberts from St Helens. I think she had a couple of games on loan at Warrington last season, got an injury, which kind of have ended her time with the club. And Madison Higson, who's former Wigan and Swinton player. And also they've added Macy McDermott to the squad, who comes from Illingworth, which is a club near Halifax. Talking about Barrow Raiders now, and Becca Harley, sorry, I do apologise, Becca Harley, who's only 20, has come up to their first team. She's a winger or a centre. She's going to join her older sister, Fran, who made a debut for the club towards the end of last season. What a great season Barrow had last year. Really did well. Won a few games that they shouldn't have won. And they'll be there or thereabouts this season, I think. And finally, it's good to see the St Helens players out and about in the community. They've been going to local gyms, eating out in local restaurants to get themselves known in the local community, to get their faces seen. And then going back to the Totally Wicked Stadium, which is a new home of Liverpool Women's Football Club, getting involved in that, and some kind of cross advertising, swapping shirts and everything before kick-off with Jodie Cunningham and the Liverpool players. So that's good to see. And that's it from me this week. Thank you very much for listening.
Exceptional report, sir. Exceptional, I have to say.
Thank you, very glad, sir. Thank you, very glad.
Our people asked us to do a bit more when it came to Women's Super League, and Greg has picked up that mantle like the absolute gentleman scholar that he is, and we'll be continuing that throughout of the season. So we are looking forward to that, to some more of that from Reggie as the season goes on. Doing a bit behind the scenes here, boys, as you do. I do apologise. Right, okay, let's just give a couple of shout outs to our sponsors throughout the show tonight. We've seen the Bluebell, brilliant, the Bluebell, and actually the Bluebell are about to put a poster up on the 13th of March. Here's one for you. On the 13th of March, Warrington fans out there who are listening, Leeds Rhinos fans out there who are listening, probably a bit of a long way to go though if you're a Leeds Rhinos fan. On the 13th of March, the first ever Rugby League quiz night is taking place at the Bluebell. I'll be hosting it, and get this, Chris and the team, this is what they're putting up as first prize for the people in the pub, right? Get ready for it. You will get a meal before the game in the Bluebell paid for, and your ticket as well. So you will be getting tickets and a meal prior to the game, courtesy of the Bluebell as your first prize. If you're a season ticket holder, the tickets will be given as a gift voucher for your club shop. Outstanding. Absolutely outstanding. So well done to Chris and everybody at the Bluebell. Obviously, the Warrington Wolves squad builder will continue to give them plugs. We are doing a series on them throughout the season. That's going to start back end of this month, so keep you out for that. Hush Brewing Company on the screen had a meeting with Chris and the gang. Lots of Chris's sponsoring us this year. Had a chat with Chris and the gang at the Brewing Company. Their shop will be going on live within the next couple of weeks. I'm back there on Friday to do a little bit to camera with him, and there are going to be special offers for Super League Raw watchers. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Shh, don't tell anyone, as Greg quite rightly says on that one. And of course, we've also got the Good Estate Agent, who's offering 33% off getting your house sold. And actually, the Good Estate Agent has got a really good turnaround in terms of how quickly the average house sells. What is it, Steph? Did you say? What's the average?
Between 2 and 3 weeks at the moment.
Between 2 and 3 weeks, your house is gone, and you're getting 33% off your bills. He won't be beaten on price. Good Estate Agent all day long. And then you've got S&J Detailing. You know, if you want your block paving sprayed or whatever, all that good gizmo, 20%. If you're not a member, 20% off your bill. If you are a member, 30% off. Wonderful. Why break your back when S&J Detailing can get your house outside anyway looking spick and span? So a little bit of a shout out there. And of course, the Creatologist is back for the Final Whistle podcast this year as well. Outstanding. So there's my shout out to all of our sponsors. Couldn't do it without you. Thank you very much indeed for your love and your support. Right, let's get cracking on. Catalan Dragons. Now then, because we are where we are, I don't know about you gentlemen, but sometimes it goes under the radar what the Dragons are up to. And boy, have they had a really impressive winter in terms of their recruitment. When you consider who they have lost, okay, the likes of Tom Davis, Mickey McAlorum, might be making a lot of experience there. Jordan Abdul, like I said last year, did not let them down last year when he played. You know, a real lot of quality has left that club. Look at what they've replaced it with. Absolutely sensational work in the transfer window from Steve McNamara. Tommy Makinson, we don't need to go there. Don't need to go there. Class. Absolutely. Everybody's surprised that he left St. Helens. Obviously, maybe just wanted to try something new on the tail end of his career. We know Makinson is going to be potent. We all know Elliot Whitehead. You know, even if you don't watch the NRL, you've seen him don an England jersey many a time. Whitehead, class. Ollie Partington, fearless defender, had a great 2024 with the Salford Red Devils. So you know all about him. The people that you might not know a lot about, of course, Nick Kotrick, Luke Keary. I don't know how you can't know about Luke, though. And Tavita Pengai. Is that right? Tavita? I always imagine. How's he pronounced his first name?
Pangai.
I know it's Pangai, but how does he say his first name? Is it Tavita. I just always refer to him as Pangai Junior, so I've never really gone
it's
there.
Now Yorkshire people refer to Evita.
Tavita. Yeah, Tavita. I see what you did there. Well done. So yeah, happy day. So let's go through this. Of course, Remy Smith, he was there last year. You know, he came, he played a couple of games from last year, so he's not classed as a new signing, albeit he probably is. But before we actually go into these three newbies, is there a better strength in depth squad than that one? I mean, if you go all the way up to probably 23, I mean, Matula Guerre was 4 last year. So you look at that in terms of cover, in terms of quality. Greg might be seeing this for the first time. I don't know in terms of how stacked it is. That is a team, if it gels, isn't it?
It is. You've also got Frank Maria at 24, who's had some first team appearances. I think this is a really, really good squad this year. They have lost. You're right in saying they've lost a lot of experience, a lot of pace with Tom Davis, Tom Johnston. But I think the strength and depth will count here for Catalan this season.
Absolutely. Steph, again, thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, Catalan were always good to see. I thought they were a bit unlucky last season with where they ended up. A lot of that their own doing. But I think the signings they brought in have been absolute quality. Oliver Partington, a great player. I think he's going to be a really good addition. And then obviously you've got experience like Whitehead and Luke Keary, who, you know, his record speaks for itself. I'm sure you've probably got a slide to show us.
I have.
So, but yeah, his record speaks. He's done everything in the Australian games. So I think he's going to be a really good addition to Super League this year. And he's going to show his talents to all the UK audience.
And of course, you know, this squad will be key, especially the squad numbers, Joel, will be keeping our friends over at League Express and, awake at night, because Theo Farge is number 21 this season. You know, the Albert Goldthorpe maestro that is Theo Farge doesn't look like he's going to be getting much game time this year.
Probably rightly so. When you're looking at Keary and Morgan there, I don't see how he even gets a chance, if I'm being honest. And Luke Keary is not somebody who gets injured often. So, this is a very dangerous squad, this. You know, no matter what your outgoing is, if your incoming is just as strong, if not stronger, then your tank stays full and overspills in some case, and this it has. They've got some real big name players there. NRL quality, Super League quality, the best of the best. I'm looking for a big season from Catalan here. I
agree. Don Kirby's not in the top 6. It's hard to disagree.
Dave, just on this one for me, the one I forgot to mention, Ben Garcia at 9.
Yeah, that's interesting. But the thing is, where else can he play? I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I'd say where else can he play? Ben Garcia is a class player, but obviously with Partington coming in,
yeah,
you know, I mean, I don't know.
He's not a hooker, is he?
I don't know. I mean, let's be fair, he's got skills. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how that goes. I mean, we know that they've got the likes of the Costa, and again, just going into that 14 down. Cesar Rouge last year. I mean, Greg, you'll remember at Warrington last year when they came to Warrington. Rouge was outstanding.
He was.
So, Paul Seguer last year, he was starting 13. He's now down to 19. Roman Neverett, he got an 8 shirt last year. He's now down to 16 because of the incoming Pangai Junior. So, like I say, some of these players last year were in there 1 to 13, and now they're down the pecking order. And we all saw what Chris Satai and Jordan Desiree did to Hull KR in Perpignan last year when they came off the bench. pretty much destroyed them in 10 minutes. You know, so it's a fight inside. You know, and this again should perform well. If it doesn't, I wouldn't want to be Steve. I have to say that.
Well, I think if this squad doesn't get a top 6, then I think Steve's be looking over his shoulder.
100%.
I'm being honest.
100%.
But going back to Theo Farge, I mean, a lot depends on the fitness of Sam Tompkins.
Correct.
So he could get a lot of game time, Theo Farge, this season, dropping Morg back to fullback. So, you know, but you know, Clement Martin had some games first team last season as well. So yeah, I mean, it's a really, really good squad.
It is. I'll tell you what, right? Do you know what, Greg? I have to say, you are a gentleman, because that has just made many a journalist sharpen their pencil. The very thought that Theo Farge will be playing this season, you know, already the match reports are being filled in and the game hasn't even kicked off. Theo,
he's managed steely legs.
The Albert Goldthorpe, man. Look, Theo, mate, if you're watching, it's no disrespect, but come on, even you've got to admit, you punched very, very high for your weight in the Theo Farge at the Albert Goldthorpe last year, my mate. You really did. Albeit, you know, let's see how you go this year. But let's get into some of these new signings. Starting with Nick Kotrick, 26 years of age, you know, 6 foot, 17 stone, 5 pound on the wing, NRL, 149 appearances and 63 tries. Not a bad return rate by any stretch in the NRL. That Canberra Raiders, Canterbury Bulldog. But here, look at this here. Dally M, Rookie of the Year 2017, New South Wales Origin in 29. He was playing Origin Rugby League. He was runner-up, of course, in the NRL in 2019 as well. An Australian and Serbian international. Again, if you don't know too much about this, like, go and check out a highlights reel. Not now. Later on YouTube, you'll see this lad's got an eye for a line, but there's no doubt about it. You know, when you go back a couple of seasons, the two edges would have been Davis and Yarhard. Then it became Davis and Johnson. This year, Tommy Makinson, Nick Kotrick. It looks pretty good on the edges, doesn't it, Greg, for the Dragons?
Yeah, it does. If Tommy Makinson can avoid some of the injuries that plagued him over the last couple of seasons, they're going to have some potent attacking down the wing. Kotrick is a big unit. It's going to take some stopping.
Well, Paul Fail there saying, you know,
I'm excited to see Kotrick, I've got to admit.
Well, Paul Fail there saying, mate, you know, with what's on his inside, he could be very high up the table this year. Indeed, great player. I know that, you know, both of you, Joel, you watch a bit of NRL as well. Come to your last step. You'll have seen this lad play. He's trade in the NRL. Got pace. He's got a good step on him as well. Really good step, Joel. Catalan Dragons fans should be very excited, shouldn't they?
Absolutely, and it's going to suit them well, especially at home, because it's a much drier pitch, harder pitch, so it's what he's used to. And, you know, you look at them 63 tries and 149 NRL appearances, you think, you know, that maybe not as high as some people, but people got to realise that to score in the NRL is quite difficult. You know, you're going up against some of the best players in the world. So that's a really good going. So for Catalan, for the strike rate, I think that's probably their top signing, because he's going to be an absolute weapon on the wing.
You agree with that one, you, Steph?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the biggest difference for me in this one, and when we look at the imports we bring in from the NRL, I think I would directly compare it. If my club were making signings, I'd look at this in comparison to Sivo at Leeds. And I know Sivo has been very unfortunate getting that injury, but he's 32, 33 years old, I think, is he, Sivo?
And Steph, if I may, as we said last week, 2 weeks ago, plagued by serious injuries in his career. That can't be said for Kotrick.
Absolutely, and this lad's 26. Yeah. So for me, if you ask me which would be the more exciting, more people have probably heard of Sivo because of his reputation. But this lad is a quality addition to this side. You know, someone who probably should still be playing NRL for me. So I think this guy is going to turn a few eyebrows for me this season and get some fans in Super League, I think.
Well, absolutely. I mean, Craig Forth is talking there about, you know, blocking pathways. I think, you know, could it be counterproductive and demotivative to the players that are going down? It's for them to budge him. I mean, look, bottom line is Catalan this year need to perform. And, you know, like I think Steph eloquently put there, they're not bringing in, you know, players at the back end of the career. They're bringing in players in the prime of the career. Possibly, I'll stay with you, Steph, because you mentioned him a few moments ago. This is a magnificent pickup. I mean, there was a few people last night who were talking when the Fantasy League came out, you know, 170 grand to have Luke Keary in your team. Well, didn't surprise me. He was 170 grand. I mean, yes, he's 32, but what a player. 231 appearances in the NRL, 48 tries, represented both South Sydney clubs. He's an NRL winner on 3 occasions, 14, 18 and 19. He's an Anzac Cup winner, 2017, 2020, 2023. He's a World Club Champion, 2019, 2020. He won the Clive Churchill Medal in the grand final of 2018. He's played Origin Rugby League. Believe you me, this is one hell of a signing. Forget 32 halfback, it's no age. I think this is an incredible signing. We're going to see at least 2 great seasons from this man. Steph, you mentioned him earlier. You've got to be delighted that this quality, as we're going to be seeing him in Super League this year.
100%. And this is the difference to the rule of what I've just said. So, yes, we want to bring the young NRL players over, like we've just said. But when you get the chance to sign someone of Kiri's quality, I mean, his rap sheet there speaks for itself, doesn't it? And 32 for a half is probably his prime. Just coming up to his, just going over his prime. So we're going to see the best of Luke Keary, I think, and it's going to be a great, exciting signing, and one that's going to be brilliant for advertising in our sport.
And to take your point, Joel, from earlier on, he's coming from the NRL. He's got those accolades playing halfback in the hardest rugby league competition in the world. What could this man do in Super League this year?
He's littered with accolades, medals. He's just a winner. He's everything that you need in a player. He'd have probably stayed at Sydney. Catalans have got a real scoop here. This is box office signing. It's going to be. I really can't wait for him to watch him play. I wish we'd have had some more money to try and put in for him, but I can see that certainly Catalan have managed to put that over the line in good style, because Jordan Abdullah, Luke Keary in. God, man, talk about strengthening your side. That's a cracking signing. Forget the age. I know you've mentioned it, but forget his age. That means absolutely nothing to him right now. He's got 3-4 years of top quality rugby.
Yeah, I mean, again, sure. Paul is on fire from Vancouver tonight. He says Keary alone is top 6. Bazza Kingston, that's just not fair, Bazza. That's just not fair. Saying that, it'd be good to see JWH against him. That's just not fair, mate. Not fair at all. You can't be putting a big man like that on Keary. To be fair, though, mate, I mean, with the footwork of Keary, good luck, JWH, is all I would say in terms of catching this little whippet without question. But anyway, over to Mr. Nixon. Greg, come to you last. If you're a kid, when Catalan come to town this year, it's worth getting a ticket alone so you can say you saw this player play his trading Super League.
100%. I go back to what Bazza says. He'll have his own squad protecting him. Don't worry, they will protect this guy because he's worth protecting.
Well, this man will do it, Greg.
Hello.
So whilst you're on that chain of thought, we'll keep going on that chain of thought, because Pangai Junior, I'll stay with you. Pangai Junior will be that protection without question. Again, 29, right in his pomp. In terms of a prop forward, 6'3", 18 stone 6, big unit. Go again, and actually good feet. Good feet for such a big lad as well. He's played a bit in the backs as well, but he's going to be playing prop for Catalan. 147 appearances in the NRL, 20 tries. He's been, I mean, look at that there. Brisbane, Penrith, Canterbury, and of course Dolphins is where he ended off. NRL winner 2021, albeit he didn't play the final, but he was in the squad. He was also in, I think he went on something like a 9-10 game winning streak as well that season, and he was fundamental to that as well.
Yeah, he was.
He's played Origin, he's a Tongan international. So, Keary, the razzle-dazzle, this for me, when you consider you've got Bousquet, you've got Satar, you've got Desiree, you've now got him. It's a frightening front row.
This guy will, I think this along with JWH, they are the 2 props I'm looking forward to seeing next season. Yeah. These 2 guys. Well, going back to Keary, I mean, we've had Alfie Langer, we've had Andrew Johns. That guy's up there, and he's worth buying a ticket to see alone. I just can't wait to see him at the HJ.
Yeah, well, Bazza's back in the chat. He's doing well, Bazza, tonight. He says it reminds him a little bit of Herman Essay. When those 2 collide. Ooh. Hey, I don't know about these storms, but I'll be checking your foundations after these two collide. Ooh, tell you, outstanding that's going to be. Oh, we're only a week away. It's like Christmas. Anyway, good times. Boys, I'm sure you're going to echo it. I mean, again, what a player.
Yeah.
I think Baz took the words out of my mouth there, because I was just going to say that, we waxed lyrical about SASA, wait for Tavita to start. He's going to be everyone's mouths is this lad. I think you're going to feel it in the stands when he hits you.
Yeah.
So, yeah, take some protection with you when you're watching the game.
Anyone getting in the Tongan side as a prop, and getting in that Tongan team in that position is going to be some player. And like you rightly say, I think he's going to be right up there with SASA, challenging for the best prop in the comp this year. So be definitely one to watch for those who don't know him.
Don't be afraid of getting in the chat. We'll be giving you shout outs. And if you're on YouTube, go super chats. We'll definitely be reading you out there. And as far as what Joel has just said, you should never be leaving home without protection. One for the dads. There is what I would say on that one. Right, outstanding stuff. Right, let's just bring this back.
And on that bombshell.
Banging. Anyway, moving on. Right, Greg. Point to prove. We didn't do this for Huddersfield. We'll go back to Huddersfield and do it quickly in a minute. We'll have to do this quick though, because time is getting away from us. It's still lots
it is.
Point to prove. Name and why.
Oh, blimey. That's that is a difficult one with this squad. And I'm going to be a bit controversial here, but I'm going to say Sam Tompkins, because he's come out of retirement. You may giggle, but he's come out of retirement and he's keeping Farge out of the team, who is, our man of steel elect. I think he has got a lot to prove after coming out of retirement last season. He's got to still prove. He's been given the number one shirt. He's still got to prove that he's got, and especially in this team now with these signings that are coming in, that he is still the guy. So it might be controversial, but I'm going with Sam Tompkins.
Grippers 262 is loving this from Barbados. We are international after all. Craig Forth saying it's going to be like King Kong taking on Godzilla when Pangai goes up against SASA. Absolutely. Tom McKay. Sorry, Tom, you have to remind me again. Ben Garcia for him. Same question. Steph, who is your point to prove in this lot?
Yeah, well, while we've mentioned Sam, I don't think Sam's going to do the full season. I think Theo Farge is going to have to come back in, and I think given how high up he was in the goal thought last year, and the critics he's had because of that, I think he's probably got the most to prove when he gets his chance, because there is a quality player in Theo Farge. He'll acknowledge it wasn't his best season last year, and when he gets his chance, he's going to have to take it to keep his place. So for me, Theo Farge.
Super League Raw is inclusive. As you know, no language. We do the show right. We like the kids. Leon is watching tonight. Our friend Leon is there with his mum watching. Danielle, we know Patreon was a pain. We're now doing the membership on the website. Get rid of Patreon. Get over to the website. You find it far easier. Make sure Leon gets his membership for the new season.
I thought I'd swore there, Dave. From
no. Just making
I know
sure.
Sam Tompkins might be bad language for some, but.
No, just making sure everybody's aware that we're a family show. Joel, mate, who's your point to prove?
Well, I was going to go Sam Tompkins because I agree with everything that Red just said, but I don't want to be boring and just agree with everyone. So, I think Remy Smith. It's a chance to have a starting spot and keep it. Hopefully, stay injury free and can help in them outside backs and have a really good showing.
I'm going to go Matiu Laguerre. I think, Matiu Laguerre for a couple of seasons was seen as the natural successor to Adam Kieran. He got his shot last year, probably didn't take it, didn't have his best campaign. He's now found himself down the pecking order. So I'm going to go Matiu. Excited to see Greg. In a word and one sentence, please.
In a word, God, Luke Carey. There's a class act. There's nobody else that I could say for that. Luke Carey.
Fantastic. Steph?
Kotrick.
Super. Joel? Tavita Pangai
Tavita for me.
I'm going with Reggie. I think Luke Keary, really cannot wait to see him, albeit very closely followed by Pangai. Rising star in this one. Not many real young ones in there, really. But if you were going to pick one of those that are in the lower echelons there, Greg, rising star in that lot?
Oh, it would probably Clement Martin.
Right, okay.
I think that's how you say it.
Mate, the only thing that was missing there was a fine Bordeaux serving a snail. Right, Steph, over to you. Who's your rising star?
I'm going to be brutally honest. I haven't got a rising star here. I don't know enough about them. So that's hold my hands up. Need to do a bit more research on these young lads at Catalan. But I'm going to say the ones that have come up from academy that we don't. All the ones that with the highest squad numbers. Let's see what they can do and if any of those can make a breakthrough this year.
Fabulous, Joel.
Yeah, once again, exact same as Reggie, Clement Martin.
I'm going to go Maria. That's where I'm going with that one. Okay, and then a key player again. Just very briefly, one sentence. If you want to do a sentence, try to keep out the commas. Greg, who's the key player?
Artemog. He's got to push on now. He's had a lot of raps over the last few seasons. He has now got to show he's a real deal. He's been given a starting shirt.
Yeah, and do you know what, mate? Absolutely. I think, Morgie, he needs to really nail a position and show he's got it. We all know he's got it. Great shout. Steph, your key player?
Oh, it's 100% Keary. They really struggled in halves last year. That was their biggest weakness for me. Bringing Luke Keary in is going to be the difference. He's going to pull the strings. He's the key player. Fantastic, Joel.
Yeah, Keary, but I know he's a 6, but he's going to be more of a 7. I think the way he goes about his seasons this year, he's going to teach Morg a thing or two. Like you say, he's not had his definite position, so I think Keary can help him become a good 7.
Fair enough.
So,
and for me, again, key player Keary. I think Keary could. Do you know what, guys? I'm telling you, if you don't do your NRL and you haven't got that depth, and that's, of course, what we pride ourselves on here at Super League Raw, really celebrating the talent right across the league, educating in terms of who the great players are. If you don't watch a lot of NRL, if you don't really know Luke Keary, there will be people watching who hasn't got a clue. Let me tell you, this guy could be the difference that gets them to Old Trafford. That's how good this guy is. So if
he's really worth the entrance fee alone.
Absolutely. This is an inspired signing, and with the supporting cast that we spoke about, Catalan Dragons, watch out, because I think the boys from Perpignan are back. Right, let's quickly go back to Huddersfield because we forgot to do it again. A name and a sentence. Point to prove. Steph, we'll start with you. Point to prove for the Catalan Dragons, for the Huddersfield Giants.
I'll go Liam Sutcliffe. Obviously, coming from Hull FC, big shoes to fill. I think if he's going to nail down that he's, a Super League standard centre and one deserving of being in this team, he's one of the ones that needs to step up, and I think he's got the ability to do that as well.
Fantastic. Just want to give an answer to Up the Trin. We did Wakefield. If you actually go onto our website, onto our news section, you will see an article there on Wakefield Trinity. It's a great article. Go and read that. You'll find out what the Super League Raw thought about Wakey's chances, and I think you'll quite enjoy reading that article. So Up the Trin, get to our website after the show. Go and check out that article, and that will answer those questions for you, my friend. Happy days. Right, Greg, back over to you. Points proof.
Points proof. I think Joe Greenwood.
Yeah,
a lot of potential, not fulfilled it.
Right. Okay, good man. Joel?
Ollie Wilson, being given the number 8 shirt, a lot of trust being put into him to be a starting prop, especially given the number 8 shirt, is a massitive thing. So he's.
I'm going to go Adam Clune. I don't think he had a great season last year. He had little patches, but I think for me, they've never really replaced Gruffy. I mean, it was a long time ago now, but for me personally, at 7, they need Clune to really come to the party. For me, he just wasn't as good as I was hoping he was going to be. Steph, excited to see?
I'm excited to see Wolford. I think he's going to surprise a few. I think he's got the potential to have those explosive plays. And I think a lot of the good things Huddersfield do will come through in the season.
Fair play. Steph, Greg.
I'm going to agree with Steph. Zach Walford.
Fabulous.
For all
Joel?
reasons, it's
Tane Milne for me.
Okay. Excited to see him. Yeah, happy days. I'm going to go Big Tom. Big Tom. You know, I love the Biff. You know, I love the Biff. So I'm going to go Big Tom. Rising star, Steph.
I'm going to say Jack Murchie. I think did he have an injury last year, Joel?
Yeah, back end.
Yeah, and I think he was
Yes,
playing
he
pretty
did,
decent. I remember Ryan telling me to pick him to score at any time try scorer, and he actually did, and I picked him. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing Jack this season, and hopefully he can have an injury-free season.
Super Greg.
I'd like to see Aidan McGowan given a chance this season.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's got potential.
Fair play. Joel.
Just so you know, Harvey Levett no longer is at the Giants, so he's not on that list anymore. Bo Morrison, that's a player to watch. Young lad, scored a fantastic try against Bradford, and he's gonna be a good player. He's very, very young, but he's a player for the future.
Up the train, my pleasure. Become a member, sir. You want to keep it Super League Raw in 2025. In terms of me, we're doing Rising Star. Do you know what? I want to say again, I'm going to stay with the Biff. Fenton Rodgers. You know, we've seen Fenton. I don't know where the feedback's coming from, but somebody's giving me some. Fenton Rodgers, great. You know, a lot of people giving him big raps. He's a big unit. Is he tough enough for Super League? Question. I don't know. We saw last year when he was very harshly treated with when St. Helens came to town. So for me, Fenton Rodgers, he needs to back up all this faith that the Giants have given him over the last few years. He needs to start showing that. Key player, Steph.
Key player for me is Adam Clune. He needs to really show his what he's made of. He's got the ability. He needs to be the one that's showing experience in this side and really guiding around the park. So he's the key player for Huddersfield.
Fair play, Greg.
Adam Swift, if he stays fit, you know, he was scoring a try a game last season, then he got injured. If Adam Swift can stay fit and his centres give him the service, you know, we'll have to see that. He's not maybe got the class of centres that he had last season, but Adam Swift, for me, if he stays fit, he could score a lot of tries.
Fair play, Joel.
Jacob Gagai, very exciting, quick, can score tries, knows where the line is, and it can offload too. So, yeah.
Well, you see Mark there saying, you know, for the price of a coffee a month, you'll never regret becoming a member. Couldn't agree with you more, Mark. And Kevin Calvert, transfer across to the new website as well, mate. He is loving tonight's show. As always, thank you, everybody, for your support and for tuning in. The numbers earlier, if you missed them, unbelievable. Over 350,000 interactions in the month of January alone. We're only going to get bigger and better. And there's a big announcement coming at the end of the show tonight. My key player in this lot for them. It's a toughie, this. It really, really is, I have to say. I think if Lolohea has a good year, Huddersfield have a good year. I think Lolohea, for me, he's been around this squad now for a while. I said it many times last year that it was embarrassing that Leroy Cudjoe, not that I'm not having a go at Leroy, fully deserving. He was their best player last year, but embarrassing for the likes of Lolohea. And even Oliver Russell in his In Conversation said it. It was an embarrassment to some of the big hitters at Huddersfield that Leroy Cudjoe, in the twilight of his career, swept the board at the end of season dinner. That's just not acceptable. So some of these big names like Tui Lolohea, you mentioned Adam Swift there. We know he's got the quality, no doubt about it. Tom Burgess, come in, big salary, needs to hit the ground running. Jack Murchie, there's something in him, there's no doubt. You know, the Mitchell brothers of Sam Hewitt and Sam Halsall, albeit they're not bald, you know, good players. Harry Rushton getting 13. You know, bottom line is, you know, these boys, they need to step up now and they need to make it happen for the Cowbell Army. Great chat, boys. Great chat. Right, okay. Gentlemen, today, outstanding. We're getting bigger. We're getting bigger. And somebody reached out to me. Somebody reached out to me on LinkedIn. They reached out to me, a novelist. I'm thinking, novelist reaching out to me. What's going on? Little did I know, it was a rugby league novelist. It's somebody who writes stories, crime thrillers, with the central character being a rugby league player. Outstanding stuff. So I thought, yeah, go on then. I'll have a little chat with you. And it's fair to say he met Dave and he met Super League Raw. And this is a quick little snippet of our little chat today. So there you go, Super League Raw, ladies and gentlemen. You know, we just keep attracting people, don't we? Such is our passion for the game. And this man, Chris Berry, reached out to me this week because guess what, ladies and gentlemen? He's a novelist. And what does he write his stories about? The great game of rugby league. So it's only right and fitting that we brought him in to Super League Raw. Chris, welcome to Super League Raw.
Hi, Dave. It's great to be on the show. Thanks very much for having me.
Not at all, not at all. Now, I thought it was a one-off book, but it's not. Chris loves his rugby league. So, Chris, come on, talk to us about your project. What are these books all about? What can people expect when they get themselves a Chris Berry novel on the way to the sunshine this summer?
These are all about thrillers and about making sure that people enjoy them whilst they use rugby league as the backdrop to them as well, you know. So first one I did was one called Tough Season that came out in 2019, and that was all about this chap called Greg Duggan who I came up with, who's a real character, real character, and Greg unfortunately has a few troubles with his love life, but he starts off being in his mid-20s in the very first book, and he's playing for a kind of lower league side and the like, but then things start happening to the club when a new owner takes over, and then things are happening, you know, all the kind of shenanigans that people like to think about in rugby league that really happens in the background, that everybody then sort of puts onto Facebook or wherever else about, oh, all this is happening, all that's happening, and all going wrong or whatever. Well, this one is one where he has to try and make sure that a team doesn't finish bottom of the league, which is effectively like League One. But basically, if you love rugby league and you want to read about somebody who's a real guy who can make things happen on the park, and you know the kind of guys that we all, you know, love to see doing that bit of magic that's going to create something else, like Kevin Sinfield used to do, you know, like Mikey Lewis does for OKR now. Like the guys do for Wigan and for Warrington and for St Helens and for whatever.
Get your readership. Go on, Chris. Get your readership far and wide. I know what you're doing there. Good lad.
Well,
but basically, what we're saying, Chris, is if you love your rugby league and you like a little bit of a novel, a crime thriller, when you go on holiday and you want the backbone of that story to be about our great sport, do you know about Chris Berry? Because Chris Berry is doing rugby league as a thriller novel. I'm not excited, people. I can't even get my words out. Outstanding stuff. Chris, how much is it and where can they buy it?
Dave, the latest one's $9.99. You get it from Amazon. I presume they do some kind of little deal on it on the postage and that kind of thing as well. So you can also get it in bookshops. But you know, bookshops are really, really good, and some really great bookshops. I never want to do bookshops down because without them we won't be anywhere.
So, and I take it the back catalogue is still available as well.
Absolutely.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Right, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Chris Berry, Super League Raw. We'll support you, Chris. Don't worry about that. Get yourselves onto Amazon. When you're going away this summer, get to your local bookshop as well. They might be able to get it in for you, and you can support your local bookshops, as Chris says. But before you go on your summer jollies, or dare I say, go to Perpignan. If you want something in your hand luggage that you're going to really, really enjoy, then go and get Chris's book. We're going to be giving a copy away as well. Chris, absolutely marvellous. Thanks for coming on to Super League Raw, and we will keep close tabs on the novels.
Cheers, Dave. Look forward to that. Take care.
All the best, mate. You take care. So there you go. That was me and Chris a bit earlier on, getting the Dave treatment. There it is. A bit of a tough season.
I do believe Davey's based those novels on me.
Well, absolutely. Yes, I was trying to say. Now, serious for a moment. He did send me his latest copy. Okay, it's novel number 4. But that's not good enough. It's not good enough. And he loved the interview that much. He actually said, of all the podcasts he's done, he loved it. He loved the infectious nature. He's watched what we're doing. He thinks we're doing a great job here at Super League Raw. So what he's agreed is this. He is going to give us all 4 novels to give away. That's what he's going to do. He's going to sign them as well. So if you are a member, and you would like to be involved in that, then what you need to do is let us know that you would like to be in that free prize draw as per your membership. Of course, it's not for everybody. I get that. So, you know, if you want to be involved in that prize draw, just send me a message through the membership that you want to be involved in that prize draw. That will happen this week. Chris will sign them, send them to you. 4 novels for your holidays with Rugby League, the central character. Thank you very much to Chris for reaching out. We hope you're watching tonight, Chris. Good luck to you. In fact, he's there. Great.
Chris is watching.
He's in the chat there. He loves it. Great show, boys. He's absolutely loving it. There you go. And you can see there, he's put in there about his latest book, his Tough Season, The French Connection, which is the one I've got. It starts with Tough Season.
Maybe you could clear up whether he's based his main character on me.
Yeah, I don't think he did. But basically, you're going to get all 4 novels. So that prize draw to Super League Raw members, okay, it's going to happen this week. We'll announce the winner, and you'll get all 4 of Chris's books to read on your jollies this year. Thank you to Chris. Keep it Super League Raw, Chris. We'll keep promoting you. And what we'll do is we'll do an article with the full interview we did with Chris on our website tomorrow, and we'll do links as to where you can buy his book from. Do support Chris. That's what we're about. We're an inclusive community. Anybody in rugby league, we want to help. That's what we want to do. So that's outstanding. Dawn Kirkby is already buying them. You know, she's already got them. She says they're absolutely awesome. And I don't love interrupting Joel. It's just that we've got 30 minutes and Joel doesn't feel at all. I won't speak for him. Joel, do you feel as if I'm unfair with you, my mate?
No, you can interrupt me as many times as you need, Dave.
Tomorrow night, but that's another story. But outstanding stuff. Well done indeed. And Chris has said no, Greg, but maybe in book 5. But anyway, there you go.
Could be a romance one next.
Could be.
You know.
Yeah, I can see the main characters being Steph and Sarah, but anyway, that's another story. Right, let's move on to the next part. One for the last week's viewers there. Right, let's get into the Leigh Leopards. We've got half an hour to go. We're going to get, like I say, big announcement coming at the end. If you've not decided to become a member yet, you really do need to. And like I say, to reiterate, loads of new shows coming. If you didn't catch that at the start of the show, go and watch the start of the show. Brand new program starting from next week, 7 days a week, Super League Raw. Believe you me, you've got your choices, guys. Lattes, you can go and buy some other publications, or you can come and get this. I know which one I'd want all day long. Right, Leigh Leopards 2025 departures, a who's who of Hull FC. Zach Hardacre, I think I put a K in there, do apologise, Zach. Ricky Latelli, Matt Moylan, of course, retired. Tom Amon, massive blow. Kai O'Donnell, massive blow. John Asiata, great pro for Leigh, moves on. Dan Norman, of course, decided to go out the game, if you recall, Dan. Oliver, yeah, he did, didn't he? He decided to turn his back on the sport. Ollie Holmes, Tom Nesbitt, Jacob Gannon, Aaron Smith, Jacob Jones, Lewis Baxter. Right, okay. I'll come to Steph last, as you do. Greg, you saw this team on the gantry with me firsthand, a lot of the new starters as well. It's fair to say that as first impressions go, there's a massive void there, especially in the pack when we're talking the likes of Tom Amon, Kai O'Donnell, John Asiata. But I thought Isaac Liu stood up well in the game. I thought he was impressive, as was Ethan O'Neill in second row.
Yeah. I think it was, first of all, that was a great game, a really entertaining game on a Saturday for a friendly. I just get the feeling that Leigh Leopards might grow into the season. I think they've lost a lot of good players in the off season. I'm not saying that they're weaker, but I think they might have to grow into this season. Isaac Liu looks a decent player. Tutavaki, I think, needs a few games under his belt. David Armstrong grew into the game from what I could see. Owen Trout, for me, had a decent game. So, I think Leigh are a kind of a team in progress at this moment in time.
Jamie Halliwell, great to meet Jamie and her dad and everybody on Saturday. They came to the Bluebell for a pint before. I agree. Super League Raw in the match report, we had Bailey Hodgson as our man of the match. Bailey played wing, he played fullback, very, very assured, very good. Jamie, great knowledge, couldn't agree with you more, outstanding stuff. Joel, of course, you wouldn't have seen Leigh, like we did at the weekend. You'll just have to take it as read that Tessie knew, really good coming out of the backfield. Clearly a player there. David Armstrong, we saw glimpses. A bit cold, but enough to make you think there's a player there. And with the amount of fanfare he's been given from Derek, there needs to be. Isaac Liu, I thought was solid, straight and true. Didn't really see too much of him in terms of link-up play and that, but in terms of a loose forward that gets involved and puts a shift in, he showed that in and then some. Alec Tutavake, for me, jury out. Didn't really shine, but that might have been because the rest of them did. And Ethan O'Neill, mate, at second row, I mean, I didn't know much about Ethan O'Neill, but he impressed me. So you just have to take it as read. Really, really impressive. From a Leigh Leopards perspective, Joel, do you think they can go and get in the six this season with that squad?
I think they've got definite possibility. You know, when Leigh came up to Super League this last time, no one knew how they were going to go, and they just grew and grew and grew, and became a very strong competitive side. Who now you kind of expect to be in and around the top six anyway. So one thing I've learned from Leigh is never write them off. Never think that they've got a weaker side than what you may think, because everyone at Leigh, from the very top to the very bottom, knows what they're doing. They've got a great culture there, a great contingent of staff who clearly know players when they see them. Yes, they've lost a lot of good players, but hey, some of them players that they've lost started off as a bit of unknowns for a lot of people. And look at them now. So, yeah, I've got high hopes for Leigh, and I think they're going to be there or thereabouts.
Before we come to Steph, let's just get a couple of comments in. Craig Forth saying 10 of there, starting 13 from last season. So, you know, in terms of that, he believes that they'll go well. Robert Hickson saying a lot of experience in there as well. William Webster saying, will Josh Charlie overtake Ryan Hall? I think his career will extend beyond Hall, so I think that's very, very likely indeed. I'm sure Steph would agree with that. Hodgson is quality, says Aidan Simpson. Couldn't agree with you more. Really impressed with the kid. Have to say, very, very good indeed. And then finally, before I come to Steph, Tom is in there again. He thinks weakened just, Steph. Steph, that's the question. As a Leigh fan, weakened, stayed the same, strengthened. Where would you put it, mate?
Well, we've only seen that that game at Warrington, haven't we? And to go back to what Reggie was saying, for a team in progress, I'll take going toe to toe and drawing with Warrington 6-all at Halliwell Jones for the first half when both teams were at full strength. So the signs are optimistic, I'd say, for Leigh in that front. Yes, we've lost some big players and some who came to Leigh as unknowns probably to a lot of people in Tom Amone and Kai O'Donnell and to some even John Asiata. But even though Asiata is a grand final winner for the Cowboys, but we have brought some really good players in. People like Ethan O'Neill, I was very impressed with in the Warrington game. I thought he was probably one of the most outstanding. But I thought young Andrew Bradrock as well, 21, he had an exceptional game for me when he came on. And AJ Towes, and also Bailey Hodgson, who's the nephew, I think, of Josh Hodgson, the former hooker and Canberra Raider. He is someone who's got a lot of talent, so he'll be putting pressure on because he's actually a natural fullback. So he'll be putting pressure on Armstrong as well. But these guys need time to gel. They need time to settle down and become a team. From what I've seen, specifically from the training camp in Lanzarote and stuff like that, the team spirit is one of the big things that have got Leigh through. They may not have the best players in Super League by any shape or means, but the team spirit is absolutely outstanding, and that's one of the things that Lamb's brought to the club. So if they can carry on with that ethos, they've got the potential to have another good season for me.
Speaking to Derek, Adrian at full time at Warrington, and a couple of players, I think there's an absolute confidence there, from being honest. They might not be saying that in the media, but when I was speaking to them, there was a steely confidence about them, that they have brought in some good talent, that they think they can go well again this season. We've just seen Catalan's squad. I think, this is mouth-watering as a season. Yes, there's those teams like your Castlefords, your Wakeys, where you're thinking it's probably going to be a tough season. They're not going to be in and around. If they were, unbelievable season if they're in around the six. But there's a load of teams with genuine quality that will be in the mix. Leigh, of course, are one of them. Like I say, I just saw a lot of confidence in terms of the way they were speaking at full time and about how these young lads are going. Greg, I mean, what I see in this team is pace, which perhaps they didn't have last year. I mean, if you look across it there, Armstrong, you've got McIntosh, Tessie New, didn't really see him break loose. I'd be interested. I mean, again, Steph might be able to guide us a bit more if he's seen him in full stride. I mean, seeing the highlight clips, he looks like he's got a bit of pace. We know Hanley's got pace. Josh Charlie, whilst he's not got pace, the pace he used to have, he's still fast and he can still finish the ball. There's no doubt about that whatsoever. And then we've got these younger ones that we saw, you know, the likes of the Bailey Hodgsons, if called upon, you know, can do it. So I think they've got a new dynamic this year. I think there's a bit of genuine pace in the back line that perhaps they didn't have last year.
Yeah, I think you're spot on there, Dave. And like I say, I think they will grow into the season. I was particularly impressed with Kevin Rothwell as well. I thought he did well, particularly second half. So, yeah, I think you kind of, they may well be relying on more on pace this season than power, which is not a bad thing. If they can hold their own down the middle and get it out wide, I think they've got a good chance. But as I said, I think they'll. It's a season that Leigh will grow into. A bit like last season, to be honest. I mean, they had a shocking start to the season last season, Leigh. And I think, again, I'm not saying they're going to have a shocking start, but I think this is going to be a season that kind of develops for them rather than, you know, hit the ground running.
Fair play, mate. Joel, I'm going to bring you in on Nicola's point. It's a great point. Nice one, Nick. Obviously, Tom Amon and Kyle O'Donnell. If we're talking about where they've really seriously lost some quality personnel, those two, arguably, their best players last season. They're up there in the conversation, no doubt about it. Tom Amon's been a breath of fresh air. Really going to miss Big Tom. O'Donnell, just class. This, for me, is where... And I'll get Steph's point last on this, and I'll ask him the last question before we go to the 4 questions to finish with. When Leigh came up against Wigan, Warrington, Saints, any side in the last 2 seasons, I always felt they could bully them down the middle. Leigh had that about them. You know, Wimbledon, you just felt that if they were on, that, you know, they would win that arm wrestle. They would win the battle of the packs. Genuinely. Even Wigan, I felt if they were on, they would beat them. That's for me where we're going to have to find out a little bit about Leigh this season, because yes, like I say, Tizavaki, for me, the jury's out on him. You know, we know Tommy, we know Robbie Mulroney is still there. That's the key bit. Are you like me in the fact that if these replacements that have come in the forward positions can pack a punch, we're going to have to find that out. Then Leigh for me are top 6. If they don't, it could be that, you know, bite your fingernails time like last year in terms of scraping it at the end.
I think you bang on exactly what you just said. You know, when Leigh were coming up against these big teams, that's exactly what they had to and could do, is bully everyone up. And I think there's no doubt that there's a possibility that could still happen. But of course, the jury's out. We don't know yet until we see it in action and see it on a consistent basis. I think that the worry is that if the pack doesn't produce like the last 2 seasons, then yeah, it's going to be a bit of a struggle. But having said that, you like your Armstrongs, who are very, very quick, you know, can they make up some of the numbers and some of the distance meters made that the forwards would have done? But if as you mentioned that was it Ethan O'Neill?
Very good.
You said who was a good player. You know, let's see if he might be the replacement for the likes of these Fiatomomones and so on that have left.
Well, I mean, all I saw in that lad is a player. He's a player. You know, early days. Let's not put too much pressure on him. It's early days, but you know, I'd like to think I know a player when I see one. And I thought what I saw from him, if I'm a Leigh fan, maybe one of these like unknowns. When they signed Ethan O'Neill, who's Ethan O'Neill? You know, even I might be, you know, Ethan O'Neill. It's an interesting signing. But you know, he's only 25. It's a 2-year contract. He's only ever played reserve grade in Australia, which we've already said is a great standard. But nobody really knew an awful lot about Ethan O'Neill. On the first showing, I thought he had a sensational game. Top 3 in terms of league performances on the night, easily for me. Steph, just touch on that forward bit, and also it's also in the chat. Tom saying around your number 6, Gaz O'Brien. We know Gaz O'Brien's a great pro, but he's just pointing to the fact that, you know, he'd have liked somebody else next to to Gareth O'Brien. And it's fair to say over the last few seasons, I mean, Moylan ended up being full-back. You've done it a little bit, with the likes of Gaz O'Brien. Before him, you had Ben, didn't you, as well? Does that worry you? That great kicking game, O'Brien. It does allow Lachlan Lamb to do what Lachlan Lamb does. And, of course, Lamb and O'Donnell, he went together like two peas in a pod. So if you can, summarise for us your forwards, what's your thoughts, and are you concerned about your six?
Yeah, I'll do the six first. I thought Gaz O'Brien had a great game against Warrington. I thought he had a really, really good game. And there's a reason why Gaz has been in Super League for so long. He played six for a lot of our season last season when we got to the one away from the grand final. So he's got the ability to do it. And yes, he is another year older, but he looked just as sharp as I've ever seen him against Warrington. I thought he had a really good game. Whether we bring somebody in at six, we've got cap space to do that. So maybe we do something mid-season if it's not quite going right. But I think he's doing all right, Gaz. And as long as the thing is with him, he's getting hit round the head because he had a lot of head injuries last season. So we'll see how that one goes. In terms of the forwards, I think people are probably underestimating Isaac Louis, who we brought in. He's another grand final winner. So many games at the top level. He's there you go. There's his stats. NRL winner 3 times.
Yeah.
So
just for the podcast, mate. So I'll just do this if I can. 33 years of age. So he's certainly at the back end of his career. Loose forward, 272 NRL appearances, 16 tries. Sydney Roosters, Gold Coast Titans, 3-time NRL winner, 4-time Anzac Cup winner. He's won back-to-back World Club challenges in 2019 and 2020, and he's an international. As you say. Might be, well, again, Asiata's in the same area, isn't he? We know what John's been producing in Super League. But you're right. It very similar to what we said about Kiri. It might not be the flamboyant halfback, but in terms of tail of the tape and what this guy's achieved, he's a great pickup.
100%. And I think the good thing for Isaac is he's been completely and utterly ignored in terms of the signings of this season. He's been overshadowed by loads, which is great. That gives him a really good platform to work from Leigh. So in terms of replacing him with Asiata, I think, we didn't see John most of last season. So if he can play most of the season this year, it'll be an upgrade on what we had with Asiata. So that for me is the point on that one. In terms of our back rowers, yes, we've lost Kai O'Donnell. Ethan O'Neill looked the part against Warrington. Well, obviously, it's very early days, and like I said, don't put pressure on him. But then when I think probably our biggest loss is Ricky Latelli in the centres. I think that's probably one that's gone under a bit of the radar in terms of what a big loss that is for us there with his combination with Charnley. So Tessie New, as on screen here, he had another good solid game against Warrington. But he has got very big boots to fill in terms of what Latelli did for us on that centre position.
Spot on. Yeah, he can play a multitude of positions. Testing here, only 23 years of age. Like I say, willing runner, good work rate. We'll see how he develops over the season. Played a lot of Queensland Cup, 40 times, 18 tries. Played 56 times in the NRL, 20 tries for the Brisbane Broncos and Dolphins between them. Tongan international. Again, impressed. I was impressed. Really, really impressed with the players that you'd signed, mate. I've got to say, I thought they were very, very good indeed. Right.
The other big point on this is with the Leigh squad, and it is very important, is that their average age has now come down to 25.
Absolutely.
So when you look at where Leigh started in Super League, it was all based on experience and maintaining that Super League status. We're getting younger now. And obviously with the Elite Academy, which was just announced today in terms of the signings for the under-16s and the under-18s, this is now becoming the future and longevity of this Leigh squad, where they can build as younger people to becoming a squad that can stick together like your likes of Wigan do and people like that. So I think that's probably the key thing, and we'll see how it goes. But one thing's for sure, the Raw Brigade are very excited.
And they should be as well. 10-minute warning, boys. 10-minute warning. The afternoon has flown by yet again. Right, let's go quick. Got to be quick because we've got a big announcement coming in a moment. Point to prove. start with you, Joel. Anybody in that squad got a point to prove this season?
Yeah, I think Tessie New, because he's got a potential for being in a couple different positions. I know he's down there as a centre, but anything happens to Armstrong, he can go straight to fullback. So I think he's one to watch because he's and to prove because he's got a few positions he can play and prove a point in them positions too.
Isaac Liu, I know that Asiata missed a few games last season, but Asiata is such a kind of legend in Leigh. I think Isaac Liu has got some big boots to fill there.
Yeah, he's got feet big enough to fill them. I would not worry about that if I was you. Steph?
For me, Frankie Holton. I think he was outstanding when he was at Hull KR, and we were really lucky when we picked him up. He had a bit of an injury play last season, but he's got into that number 11 shirt now to replace Kai. And he's got... I'll make a big prediction. I think Frankie Holton's going to have an outstanding season for Leigh this year.
Don't think it's that big a prediction, but it's okay. We'll take it. I'm going to go Alec Tutavake. Based on that one performance, I'm just going to pull him out. With Big Tom gone. Yeah, let's see where that goes in the first 8 rounds. So that's where I'm going to go. Excited to see. Joel, are you excited to see in that team? Right, okay.
Isaac Leo.
Okay.
Definitely.
Greg?
Ethan O'Neill. After
Ethan
what he did
O'Neill,
the other night.
Yeah, I can see why. Good one. Steph?
I'm excited to see David Armstrong when Edwin Apapi's on the pitch making breaks and him backing him up.
Yeah. Again, Armstrong, we saw glimpses. We did see glimpses. For me, there's a lot of quality in that squad. I want to see Anley kick on, I have to say. But in terms of who am I excited to see, Joe, I'm going to stay faithful to what I love in the game. Big Robbie, come on, Robbie lad, come on, Robbie son, have another big season. Get your name in. It was a travesty that he weren't a part of the England setup. Come on, Big Rob, get in there, son. Rising star, Joel.
I think you're going to go with Ethan O'Neill from what you've said. Sounds like a bit of a player there.
Well, it might be a bit biased here, but I'm hoping Keenan Brand actually fulfills his potential.
Played well against Warrington. Had a good game.
Yeah.
Did well in the eyeball.
He's got a lot of potential. Love Island shenanigans aside, I think I hope he lives up to his potential because there is a good player in there.
I'm sure he'll get into your DMs during the season, Greg. Over to Steph, your rising star in this one.
I'm going to say, with Darnell McIntosh being injured and probably not going to start the season, watch out for Bailey Hodgson Super League.
Yeah, I have to say, I can see why you're saying that without doubt. I think Bailey, I get Greg's point as well. I think those two, based on what we saw at Warrington, you Leigh Leopards fans, you could have two little diamonds there that have stuck up on the rail. Right, key players. Joel, who's the key player? He's talking and I can't hear him.
Sorry, I'm muting myself while I pour him a drink. I think it's going to be Armstrong. He's been bigged up, certainly by Derek enough and the club. Is he the one that's the new Bevan French that they're all saying?
Indeed. Right, mate, I'm ready to wear the time, Greg.
I've got to agree with Joel. David Armstrong for me.
Key player. Steph?
The king of Leigh, Edwin Ipape.
Absolutely, I can see why you're saying that. But again, because of the importance of fullback positions now in Super League, I'm going to go with the lads. I think David Armstrong, he's come with a lot of praise. We know how critical fullbacks are now in the modern game. I think if Armstrong can be as good as people are saying he is, Leigh could have a great year. Boys, I know that's been a bit quick. And for those who think I'm cutting them off, I'm not. We've got to stop the show in 5 minutes' time. And like I said, a big announcement is coming. I would just like to remind people, our members. So our members, you team talkers out there, remember, you get three entries as part of your membership into every competition and prize draw. If you're a team talk member, if you're a 6 Again member, you get 2. And if you're an 18th man, you get 1. And you are automatically enrolled into the biggest competition we've ever done. there is just nothing like the Challenge Cup final. Today, Super League Raw announced our biggest competition ever. Regardless of which two teams will be playing, Super League Raw will be there with our members to celebrate an epic day of rugby league at the home of British sports. Join the Super League Raw family at the Challenge Cup final on the 7th of June at Club Wembley. All members are automatically included as per their membership. But if you want your chance of being at Club Wembley on the 7th of June 2025, then get over to our website where tickets are just £2 to enter this prize draw. And perhaps the best news is that you will be supporting Grassroots Rugby League through Super League Raw in 2025. So don't hesitate. Buy your ticket now, support local rugby league, and maybe we will see you at the Challenge Cup final in Club Wembley. Super League Raw, it just keeps getting better. Our biggest competition ever. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. There you go. The members are automatically involved, but members, do you want to increase your chances? Tickets are £2 on the website, or you can get 10 entries for a tenner. Now, this is the way it's going to work, right? Get on the website, buy your tickets. We'll do the draw later in the season. 2 lucky winners will be joining Super League Raw at Wembley, and we will be using those proceeds to benefit Grassroots Rugby League, because Rugby League is what matters. That's what Super League Raw does. When you support Super League Raw, that's what you're doing. You're helping us grow our great sport. Loads of amateur clubs around the country. You can nominate them as well. But ladies and gentlemen, the more we earn, the more we can actually donate back into the game of rugby league, and we'll be featuring that when we get the other side of the Challenge Cup. So get your tickets bought. Make sure that you're a part of that. That's what it's all about. If you've only just discovered Super League Raw, what a community we are building. We said at the start of the show, we are just sleeps away from some incredible content, but you've got to be Team Talk members or 6 Again members to get the Captain's Run. The Captain's Run will start in 9 sleeps time. The best build-up to every weekend's action. In the Sheds, the Icon, free for all. That returns in 11 sleeps. The Final Whistle. The members will be a part of the Final Whistle. They will be the stars of their own show. Yet again, do you want to be a voice on that? Do you want to be a part of it? You need to be a Team Talk member. Then we've got on Mondays, Round Unpacked, where we absolutely deep dive every game with stats and everything. The greatest way to go out every single weekend. It's outstanding. And of course, you've got the opportunity to join the Fantasy League. As members, you're playing for a 2026 season ticket, you're playing for a replica shirt, or you're playing for a hoodie from Super League Raw. More and more is being announced every single week. We are a community. We're growing. We're going to be meeting each other. We're going to be having curries. We're going to be doing a whole lot of great stuff. Super League Raw just got bigger and better again. On behalf of us all, thank you very much indeed for watching. We know you'll be back at 8 o'clock next Tuesday. Greg, sir, I salute you. Mr. Sale, you're a legend. And Joel, without doubt, you're the most cuddliest, handsome man in Huddersfield I've ever met. Ladies and gentlemen, you look after yourselves. Have a great week, and we will be all back at 8 p.m. next Tuesday for more Super League Raw Weekly. Gentlemen,
weekly.
you can't beat it. All the best, guys.